Hey folks, time for me to disassemble and reassemble this American 1100. I don't have a working plug follower for it, so this will be interesting. Any of you in Discord have heard me complain for about an hour now. Alright, so works. Key and all that. Let's get it apart. So, got my Phillips head screwdriver. Let's go ahead and set that key aside. Let's set this stuff aside. Get that screw out of there. Alright. Set the body aside, make sure I can, okay, cool. So, now the fun part. So, because I don't have a plug follower, I'm just going to suffer those pins going out all willy-nilly. Let's see if I can get this little bit off. Okay, got that off successfully without breaking it. That's nice. So let's go ahead and very carefully, okay. I'm gonna lose the driver pins because I don't have a plug follower. We're going to just let those go up there. Let's see. All right, I think that's all of it. Let's go ahead and get this settled in here. Great. So I'm just checking to make sure if I have any plugs left. I don't think so. And I'll just separate out my springs. Luckily I remember the order of these spools, or I've been doing it wrong consistently. Either one's perfectly reasonable at this point. And hey, getting it bent back in actually fixed that bent spring, so that's great. So there we've got the driver pins. For anybody watching this later, these American 1100, this American 1100 has two serrated, looks like serrated spool driver pins, and 3 serrated driver pins. So now let's go ahead and we'll carefully pin number 1, pin number 2. Oh, there, you got away from me there. Not too bad. Pin number 3, pin number 4, fell into number 3 slot, and pin number 5. Great, and so now, so this has got 6 pins and only keyed for 5. I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't know enough about this yet. But here we go, totally disassembled. So let's put her all back together. Doing what I've seen. Okay, cool, you can't see it. Doing what I've seen other people do. We're just going to repin the lock and make sure that everything's good. I will set the lock down here. And I'm just going to go one at a time, drop them back in with the key in it, and make sure it all lines up. It is very fiddly. I discovered that not only does I got a plug follower, it does not fit this lock. Oh, I got these backward. Come on. Let's do this sitting down. I got big fat fingers. Okay, that's looking better. On the off chance that somebody other than a judge is watching this and I can help, the trick here is basically if you got the key in, all the driver pins will align with the top of the lock. This makes it easy if you, like me, are really bad about getting your pins in order consistently. Okay, so we've got the core back together. Let's go ahead and get this back together. So one at a time. Gonna take my springs and drop them on in. Let me just lean on into the camera a little bit more. And you'll lose your springs when you're on camera, of course. Did I get it? I did? Okay, cool. Did not get that one. I'm going to set this down again just for a second while I get a wrangle on this. Of course, now I recognize that I have been doing this backwards. So I gotta get one of the springs out. One. Oh boy. Pen number 2. Okay, got pin number 3, switching sides. I do have, where did my other tweezers go? These are too small, or too big for the, yeah, it's too big for these two. Well, I got some nice pinning tweezers, and they are too big for these pins. So what are you gonna do? Nothing, you just work with what you got. Okay, that's 4 in. Now for the 5th. Okay, now switching back around. Let's put the driver pins back in. Pin number 1, serrated spool. Pin number 2. Sorry, I'm trying to do this on camera better. But pin number 3. And I found that using a pick at the times where the pins kind of get, okay, just using a pick a little bit to finagle it back in. Okay, let's see. Here's that number. Ooh, got that one lined. And number. Well, let's see if I can fiddle it back in. Pin number 5. Okay. Now we are going to assemble this lock. So I don't have a plug follower. That is unfortunate. I don't know if it's this lock or just locks in general, because it's the first one I disassembled. But because of the way this is set up, I can't insert it with the key in. So I'll insert it with the key out. But once I do so, I can't turn the lock because I have the driver pins are stuck in there. If I had the key in, I could probably do it without, but for now I'm going to put the clip back on. Okay, I got the clip on, and now at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back of a pick. Let me do a flatter one. Here we go. Take the back of a pick, I'm going to stick it in through the lock. I'm going to carefully press down and rotate just far enough that the driver pins are not catching on the lock. At this point I can insert the key far enough to rotate the lock up into the locked position, insert the key, and we see that it functions just fine. So because I remembered to put the clip back on and I didn't pull it out, now we can very carefully do that. We won't flip it around, so we won't dump the pins out like I did the first time. We'll take the lock body here. We're gonna drop this on, oh, no, other way around. We're gonna drop it on in. Yep. So drop it on in just like that. Make sure you got a clear sight to the hole. We're going to put the cover on. I'm sure there's better. I'm sure there's a real term for that, but I'm not good at this yet. Getting there. Certainly getting there. All right. Got that in. Got this in. Okay, hold on. What are you doing? Okay. Just hadn't caught properly. Okay. Moment of truth. Aha! And I got it open. Okay, cool. That has been, so this has been Falcon 2001. I am disassembling and reassembling an American Series 1100, and thank you very much.